Winning! Peace and love, family. Peace and love. It's your boy Chris Enlightened coming back again with some more spiritual battles. And today I'm going in on the many types of altars in your home. Ooh, this is a good one, family. This is a good one. The many types of altars in your home. Ooh. This is a good one because a lot of humans aren't aware of the many types of altars you can have in your home. Me personally, I started off with the ancestral altar first. Before I dove into all the other altars that I have today, I started off with my ancestor altar. It was just a picture of my grannies, my father, and some other close relatives, some grapes, some small meat, bread, cheese, and some water every day. Even before I started burning ancestor money, I was giving them food, saying divine prayers. It was a small little table with one candle. Because I understood at that time that my ancestor altar was nothing more than an extension of my spirituality. And when I was new, my altar wasn't all advanced yet. It was a start. So don't feel bad or like you're not worthy if you have a small altar. The fact that you have one is what counts, family. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. If you have one altar and someone has 15 altars, that one altar would be just as powerful as those 15 if you're doing it every day. So it's not about how big your altar is, it's the consistency and the energy you put into your spiritual practice is what counts. But over time, I started burning ancestor money. I started doing spells, magic, meditating, and my altar started to grow when I started to grow. As my spirituality started to get enhanced and grow, my altar started to get enhanced and grow as well. And I realized that I could only go so far with human effort. And in order for me to really win the way I wanted to win, I had to line myself up with other beings and deities that was more than me. You can only go so far with human effort, family. How many of you guys have said prayers and your prayers to get answered? You had dreams and goals and you just kept trying, knocking down the wall till your knuckles got bleed, till your knuckles bled, and nothing happened. Because you're not taught to reach out for help for other divine sources. And when you align yourself up with other beings and other things start happening to your family, you start winning on another level because other beings and higher divinity beings, they can make moves for you in your reality that you can't make yourself. Your ancestors, they were once human, so they can make some moves. But if you really want to win like these rich folk, you gotta start doing what the rich folk do. Okay, family? Another altar that we have, well, my wife, she has a divination altar where she has all her tarot cards, oracle cards, goddess cards, runes, all her magical things on her divination altar. She also has a magic altar where she has her herbs and all her other things that she does her magic with. So that right there is like three different altars that she can have. Another altar that we have a Buddhist altar. Me and my wife both fell in love with Buddhists. And we started seeing Buddhas everywhere. Every store we went to, we just had to get it. We weren't worried about the price or how big it was. We got it anyway. So now our home looks like a little bitty museum. So we couldn't put all the Buddhas we had on our altars. So we have a Buddhist altar. We have multiple ones. And we have a table just full of Buddhas. And the reason why we have Buddha altars is to remind ourselves of our spirituality. When we come home, we see that beautiful altar. It just puts us at peace. It's to the point where now we don't even like to leave the home. Unfortunately, right now that COVID-19 is going on, and a lot of people are going crazy staying at home. We're in the house chilling. We loving it because we're doing what we do. We're being creative, inventing things, creating things, and we're out here winning. You know what I'm saying, family? So the Buddha's altar is nothing more than a physical representation of our spirituality as well, and reminds us of what it is that what we want to do here. If I can get it out, I don't know what I said, but if I can get it out, it reminds us of our spirituality. Okay, family. Another altar that we have is a crystal altar. Years ago, we were told by our spiritual master not to put crystals on our altar, because when you put crystals on your altar, some of the energy of your prayers and your gifts and the things that you give your ancestors, the energy of the crystal unconsciously sucks it up. It takes it because crystals have what I call an unconscious consciousness. They're like flash drives. They take on energy. And the energy that you're giving your ancestors, some of the crystals getting that energy, and the energy that the ancestors are giving you, the crystals get some of that energy as well. So instead of the crystals taking all the energy from our ancestors and what we're giving our ancestors, we just have our crystals on our own altar. And we have hundreds of crystals on our crystal altar, and you can just feel the energy in there. Me and my wife, we're fortunate enough to have a room dedicated just for altar practices. There's nothing going on in that room other than spiritual practices, burning sage, Palo Santo, you name it, incense, you name it, magic. As soon as you open the door, you smell altar room. It just smells good. It's like a different portal within our home. And that's all your altar is. It's nothing more than a portal to your ancestors so you can make exchanges, energy, love, and light, and they give it to you in return. So hopefully you got some jewels on the different type of altars in your home. You don't have to have any altars in your home. But if you do want to have more than one, it's okay. You don't want to be crowding your ancestral altar with all these things if you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? If you got a cousin named Pete that don't get along with cousin Junebug, if you don't feel the need to, don't put them on the same altar. You can put them on separate altars in the same room if you want to. It's up to you. Once you start really tapping into your intuition, you'll just know. You just know. Like most people, I do my own thing. I use spiritual ingenuity. I listen to what other people are doing and I see if they're winning with it. I try it out myself. That's what I call spiritual ingenuity. The only way you're going to know is if you experience it. You know what I mean, family? I don't care what I say or anyone tells you. If I tell you, you don't really know, you just believe. But when you know, there's no need to believe. So I really want you to focus on creating your own know system and start trying stuff. Just try different things. Move things around on your ancestral altar. Go different times a day. Me personally, my altar's on the east wall where the sun rises. My wife had her altar on the east wall for years. And she said, you know what? I want to try it on the west wall where the sun sets. Because depending upon where the sun rises and sets, different energy comes off the sun. You know what I mean, family? So on that note, family, I hope you got some jewels on a different type of altars you can have in your home. If you want to support me, you can go out to Amazon.com, pick up my books, The Enlightened Talk, Poverty Consciousness, ooh, that's a banger. Wealth Consciousness, ooh, that's a banger. And my latest best-selling book, Dissolving Your Limitations, ooh. I've been told that's some of my best literary work that I've created so far. It's a really good read, and it's going to expand your consciousness, and it's going to take you beyond the boundaries of what you've been programmed to believe is truth. You know what I'm saying, family? So on that note, you already know what I'm doing. It's your boy Chris Enlightened, and you know what I'm doing. I'm out here winning.